If there's one thing I hear most often from all of you, it's that you love the idea of having a planner that you use every week, but when you sit down and you really try to map out the details of your week or manage things day to day, it just falls flat. You get really overwhelmed with all of the details and how to manage it all within your planner. So today I'd like to invite you to sit along with me. We're gonna jump over to my screen and I'd like to show you how I manage my week within my digital planner. It's a system that really works for me and it took me a while to figure out all the details. My hope is in showing this to you that it'll give you a little bit of inspiration and some ideas that you can bring into your own planning. So this week when I did my planning, I just took a quick recording of my screen and we're gonna jump into that now and I'm gonna walk you through some of the details.
So let's jump in here to the planner. Now, the first thing that I'll do when I start my week is jump into the monthly spread, take a look at some of the big blocks that I put on my month of events or logistics. And I just look at my month to make sure that I'm still on track. And here on this page, I really like to use some of my scheduling stickers. You can see that these are just my images and I've written on top of them, so still keeping it really simple, and then some month at a glance stickers as well. But again, just putting those stickers in and writing on top, that's pretty much as decorative as I get on this spread. Now, since I'm at the beginning of my week, I'm going to jump into my weekly planning page. Now, I already have this filled out, but what I'm doing here is I am reviewing what were the big things that I accomplished last week, and I want to take the time to really celebrate that. Then I want to get into thinking about last week, what worked well and what really didn't work well. Where do I see opportunities for improvement? Now, taking that a step further, then I think about what are the specific changes I can make this week to improve those things that I saw that I struggled with last week. So this is really looking back here on the left side of the page, thinking about how last week went and learning from it, what I want to bring into this week and what I want to change for this week. Now, along the right side, we get into our progress goals. Now, I want to remind you about your progress goals here from your goal setting section. So, for example, for every goal, you have your top level goal. This is really what you want to achieve in your 90-day period. And when we get into progress goals, those are the smaller goals or the sub-steps under that larger goal. Now, progress goals, though, are still a little bit bigger than small actions that you can take on a day-to-day basis. What I typically do week to week is grab just one of the progress goals, and one of those progress goals shows up as one of my 3 key focuses for the week. So let's jump back into our planning page here, and you can see that planning my new product creation roadmap is showing up as a progress goal. And here on this page, I'm able to break it down into my more tangible action goals. And sometimes I have all 3 of these filled out. Sometimes I'll only have a couple. Really depends on what my week looks like and what I think I'm going to have the ability to execute on. So this is my high level. This is me really stepping back and thinking about what are the things that I want to achieve and how am I going to chase after my personal goals this week. But now we need to get into the action taking part. We need to step back and looking at all of the other things that I am committed to in my life. How am I going to fit these goals into my week? And that's where my dated page comes in. So I'm going to jump over, hitting the week number here. I'm going to jump over into my page. Now, most of my weeks have kind of a set structure that I follow. What I've been finding is that this scheduling block that comes with my planner that splits your day up into 6 sections is really working well for me. So you can see this is just an image. Now, what I've done here is in past weeks, I've found that there are parts of my layout that are really static. And that's my morning and my night routine with the kids. I've also added these little labels along the side here. labeling the different portions of the day. And then I've also really come to like always having a habit tracker front and center and keeping my priorities in view as well. So what I did once I kind of had this layout that I found myself using week after week, I just copied it and I saved it into my sticker book. So what I've essentially done here is created like this one massive sticker that I can then copy and paste into my planner. So once you have that in place, then the first thing that I do is, again, thinking about my goals, wanting to make those front and center. I really try to fit those in first. So I'm going to jump back over into my weekly planning page, and I'm going to just grab all of these goals over here, and I'm going to paste them here. And this is where it'll look a little messy for a second while I just get everything in place. But what I'm basically going to do is just grab each of these larger progress goals. And I do need to make sure my images are turned off so I don't pick up those, that image background that I added here. But I'm just going to grab each of these top level goals. And again, this is totally just personal preference. I like having these progress goals right here on this page, so I don't even have to jump into my other page, and I can quickly keep in sight what the main priorities I have for my week. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab each of these individual goals and I'm going to fit them in on my page in a specific time slot. And again, these are just loose areas of my day, like early evening, late evening. Once I have those in place, then I'm also going to add in all of the other things that I want to do with my time. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then we can jump back in and I'll explain to you what I've done. Okay, so here we are at my completed page. Let's talk about a few things I did. Now, I went through, and you can see in the late evening, this is really when I work on my personal goals. And so I added things in on the day that I'm planning to complete them, in the time of the day that I'm planning to have time to work on them. I also added in some of my work time here. Now, I work a corporate job that takes up just 2.5 days, and so I have my time blocked out there. Again, this is where you need to really figure out your own personal process for planning. I don't need to sit in my planner and block out how I'm spending my time at work. That time is really kind of dictated for me. I have a bunch of meetings and I just don't find it necessary to get into that level of detail in my planner. So it's important to remember that you need to make your planner work for you. Now, where I do really like to have some help and some structure are my days where I'm home with my kids. I like to pre-think how I'm going to spend my time with them in a way that's really meaningful, and also some of the other basic things I need to get done with my day. So let's look at Monday, for example. Everything here that I've color-coded in green are the things that I'm doing directly with my kids to engage them. So all I do is I'll write this all in black, and then I'll go through, and I just like to have this color coding to make it easier to kind of see how I'm spending my time. I'll just circle this and tap and hold and color, and I'll recolor it to kind of the little color key that I have. So everything in green are the activities that I'm doing with my kids to engage with them. Things in red are more of my housekeeping tasks, the kind of the errands that I have to get done. And then everything in blue are the things that I'm really doing for myself. And so you can see I don't have anything really time blocked here. I just have some high level blocks of my day and the things that I plan to do. What this really does for me is at any given point of the day, it gives me focus and structure without locking me into a really detailed schedule that will obviously go out of the window once, anything gets thrown off in my day. So these blocks of time are really effective for me to stay on track without having too rigid of a schedule. So this weekly plan is really where I create my plan for my week. My daily pages, I'd say I use more for intention setting and reflection throughout the week. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So what I do every single night, I try to sit down, and it really just takes like 5 minutes for me to go through and think about what's my intention for tomorrow and what are the main things that I'm going to prioritize. So again, there's a lot of repetition from this page. And again, this is where it's great to have a digital planner. You can just grab and lasso things. So I am just going to copy these as my main goals for the day and jump into my daily page. And so these are, again, my top priorities for the day. Look at this label. And so I have those right here, and often I'll add in one more that is maybe a little bit outside of my goals. So another thing that I really want to make sure that I get in is that workout that I had as my goal. So again, I'll write workout here. And I already know that there are a lot of other logistical things that I'm planning to do with my day tomorrow, but I really want to make sure that I have my head around these top personal goals for myself. So those are, these top 2 things are things that are getting me closer to the top level goals that I'm working on right now. And this workout for me is just really important to my personal health to get back into a workout schedule. So now also, since I'm kind of night before, I'm trying to turn off my brain, I'm also going to create a quick brain dump of anything that's more of a task that I have to do tomorrow. And again, I keep things in tasks that are less focused on my goals and are more of just like basic things that I have to get done tomorrow. This is a great way to get that out of my head before I go to bed. So once I fill in anything that's top of mind, that's pretty much it. Sometimes I go in and create some blocks in my schedule, but most often I use this scheduling piece in the middle to block out my time when I have focused work time. So I do that on my days that I'm working my job and when I get focused time to work on my personal goals. But I don't sit the night before and do this schedule view. It's just a little too rigid for me. And on the days that I'm really just with my kids all day, I often don't even use the schedule view. So again, a reminder that you can use this page the way that it best serves you. Now, one other thing that I really like to add to my daily plans is this block here that allows me to set my own intention and really take some time for gratitude. So I add that in right here, and I'll take a few minutes tonight just to fill out the top 2, the gratitude and the intention. And then in the morning, I'll review that. It'll really start my day off on the right foot. And at the end of the day, I'll celebrate and fill in my accomplishments and opportunities to improve before I move on to planning for the next day. So it kind of creates this constant gratitude and intention setting and then reflection exercise in my nightly reviews.
So I hope this was helpful. I hope it gave you some ideas that you can bring into your own planning and helped break things down just a little bit for you.